I had to share this after seeing a few posts on the Reddit forums on personal growth, self help, and being disciplined. Now, one would think that questions on this forum would be most about how do I change my life, as in, what can you tell me, what should I do in my own life circumstances. Turns out nobody is looking for that kind of advice. The kind of advice that tells wake up at this time, follow it with an exercise, eat healthy, and do all this. Everybody already knows that information. What they're struggling with is the emotions around it that doesn't let them be that way. And that's a question that's a tough one. Why is it so hard to show up for ourselves? And even after wanting to change our life or improve it, why is it that we find it so hard to execute on our plans, to actually be the person that we want to be? The short answer is emotions around ourselves, our own judgment of ourselves, how the world around us reacts to us. Reddit is probably a place where people who cannot share what's happening to them in their own lives can actually write about it in great detail and get some help. And the struggles are real. It's not tools, tips, tricks, strategies and it that people are looking for. They just want to understand how to handle their own unpleasant emotions. The feeling of shame. The feeling of shame was so common. There are endless talks about how people wasted their days and how they are wasting their time doing nothing. There is so much of shame and guilt that cannot be shared with anybody in real, and it finds its place online. My take on this is that guilt is okay, but shame can be avoided. We're all not going to be perfect. Whether you've wasted 100 days, a year, your 20s, or even your 30s, or even your 40s, it doesn't matter. What's done is done. This journey begins when you choose to look forward, analyze it objectively, move on. The other common theme was self-hate. It's as though somebody has painted a picture of us, of how we should be. Get up at 5 a.m., exercise, and then have a protein-filled healthy breakfast, and then handle the most important task for the day, be in your best relationship, have the best vacations, and work in your dream job. Unconsciously, we are all measuring our lives with these unrealistic standards, and somewhere, some of the hate towards ourselves comes from not living up to these standards. The next defeating emotion that I found is one of helplessness. The fact that we have not changed makes us believe that the chances of us making it are even lower. It's like that elephant story where the elephant, even when not in its chains, it still believes that it is being chained. We have chained ourselves to our past actions and we believe that real change is no longer possible. There were so many questions on the lines of, why am I like this? What is wrong with me? They were not objective questions, they were questions coming from absolute helplessness. And in today's world, technology has given us the option to listen to the latest advice from any expert on any topic, all available at the tip of our fingers, literally. And yet, people are feeling so helpless. The other common theme that I notice is wrong timing. The timing of life is so ironic that when you are a student, you may spend your time watching TV, but 20 days before the exam, you become desperate to overnight change yourself. And this is a common theme. There is desperation that sets in as we reach nearer towards goals, and most people have a sword hanging over their head, which probably looks like it is a wrong time to look at turning your life around or being the best version of yourself. I think this is the best time, because when times are good, we never remember that we can be better than who we are. So let's deal with the cards that we have got and use now as the best time to get started. Another common theme is feeling left behind from your own peers. There's someone in the group who's always walking around with this measurement of who should be how, and we're all victims of it until we choose not to be. This feeling of being behind makes it feel like a futile attempt to even get started on something. It's a very, very self defeating emotion rooted in the past, as though things are already finished for you. I think that's another common emotion. The only thing that we have to remember is that it is always going to be difficult if we measure our current selves against our potential, because an individual's potential is limitless. So you could do anything in the world that you wanted to, but for now, you got to start with where you are and what you're doing. Now, the last thing that most people struggle with: consistency. And it is something that I myself have struggled with. And in my case, I can tell you what helped me. Whenever I started a habit, especially around exercising or eating a certain way, I would often do it for 4 to 5 days, and then it would just taper off until I picked it up again after a longer break. So it may be a week's break until I started again. And I went on this cycle of start and stop. And for a long time, I thought I had a discipline problem. Like with certain things, I just couldn't stay focused enough. And I tried all the advice out there, like breaking things into smaller chunks, exercising for just 5 minutes, and then building momentum, and all those tricks. But in my case, what I realized is that my lack of consistency was because I did not reward myself. I did not recognize that I had taken enough action. So I built in rewards that I could get to keep myself motivated. So these were the common problems that I saw on Reddit related to productivity. Have you faced these as well? And let me know what you've done to come out of it.